What up, Dokkanners? We are just a handful of hours away from the version Z update, but one last hurdle, folks. We have to get through the server maintenance period. After this, it's all smooth sailings, but we got to get through this. This is about a 10-hour window that they're giving us for this server maintenance. So what I was doing this video was to give a short little checklist for some of the last-minute things that you guys could do before we go into maintenance. So if you guys are responsible Dokkanners or hardcore Dokkanners or those who really play the game and you want to be as prepared as you possibly can before this version Z update, I would recommend you guys check this out. Also, feel free to share any thoughts you may have or any extra tips or tricks that I don't mention in the comments below, because if there's something that even I haven't thought about, I would love to take that and run with it and use it myself. So with that said, let's jump in. The number one thing, obviously, when it comes to any maintenance preparation is before the maintenance, clear out your stamina. The more stamina you complete, or the less stamina you have, the more stamina you have to recharge during the maintenance period, because then the game is still working for you while it's going through any sort of an update. Also keep in mind, maintenance periods sometimes can be extended, or they can take less time depending on the situation. Since this is a pretty major overhaul, being it's a version Z update that's changing a lot of things, I would imagine they're probably going to be taking the whole entire time that they've predicted, or at the very least maybe like an hour or two short. So that still gives you like 8 hours of no dokkanning. And if you've got over 300 stamina and you've got 0 stamina as soon as it starts, that's a lot of free stamina that you're getting back just simply by doing nothing. So if you guys can do that, possibly by running through events or doing some link level grinding, whatever you can do, I would recommend you try to do that right before the version Z update actually starts. Mersion Z? I really just said Mersion Z, didn't I? If you heard that, let me know in the comments. Anyway, some of the other things that I thought about. Number one, make note of all the units that need to be changed in the hidden potential system. I talked about this in another video. I'll quickly gloss over this right now. In this update, we are getting a big change where if you want to recalibrate a unit's hidden potential attributes, like stamina or the dodging, combos, and all that, it usually costs 10 Dragon Stones, or using the same copy of the unit to recalibrate. 10 Dragon Stones is a lot. They are changing that down to 5 stones permanently. So from now on, you will have to spend 5 Dragon Stones to change or the copy. However, during this campaign, they are actually going to be doing a very special thing that allows you to spend only 1 Dragon Stone right here. From the launch of this campaign until February 13th, only 1 Dragon Stone is required to forget a hidden potential skill, which means you will be able to only spend 1 instead of 10, which is a fraction of the price, which is way better. I still don't recommend people spend their hard-earned stones, but sometimes you just have to do it. It's better to spend 1 stone instead of 5, let alone 10. So take note of every single unit that you've ever had question about possibly recalibrating, and maybe put that on a list. Write down a little list on your notepad so that you can jump back in and recalibrate units as you want, all the while knowing that you're saving 90% of the stones that you would have spent. That's a pretty crazy savings. That's number one. Number two, going through your events. You should take a look at all of your different events that you've done, or maybe if there are any events that you've known for a while that you've never run through, you should take note of those, because with the version Z update, there are 2 things that are coming. One, the completion requirements. If you want to complete Z hard, you will also complete the normal stage as well. So if you haven't cleared these 2 stages, all you have to beat is the Z hard version to get both credit. So if you have any events out there that you have not completed, take note of them, because post version Z, you'll only have to run through those stages once to complete it, get both the Dragon Stones or any Dragon Stones that you can pick up from all the different difficulties, and all of their completion rewards, all in one fell swoop. So that is a much nicer way to clear out a bunch of events that you may not necessarily want to do. The other part of this thing is the auto mode feature. There is a new automated update that is going to be dropping with this version Z that allows you to run through various events, story events, Dokkan events, and quest mode, where you can just go through the motion and let the actual bot do the fighting for you and the traversal of the map for you. This is particularly going to be useful for events that are super tedious, that require a lot of repetition, like, for example, the Prime Battle event. This event just released on Global last week, and I have not actually worked on this unit since that first night live stream that I did on Twitch, twitch.tv/Shunrami, follow. After that, I decided to wait. I am not going to be working on this Gohan until I get the auto mode to be able to run through this event, because you're going to have to farm out 777 medals of the unit if you want 1 copy of SA10, and then even more if you're trying to do it fully free to play, which I intend to do. So version Z's auto mode is going to be a lifesaver for me, because I don't have to sit there and manually do every single run myself. I can just automate it. Same goes for quest mode and other events. So if you guys are planning on summoning for the upcoming LR Janemba, which was announced on Global, you're going to have to utilize this Dokkan event quite a bit. As you can see, on this Janemba, you're going to need 35 of the Fat Janemba medals, 35 of the Super Janemba medals. At the SSR level, you need another 35 copies of the Fat Janemba, which means, in total, you need 70 copies of this guy, 35 copies of this guy, which means you have to run through level 3 5 times. You have to run through level 4 on the hardest difficulty 10 times. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hate doing this. I just don't like it. Auto mode changes that. Normally, I recommend you guys to do this before a unit drops on Global, because it's always nice to be prepared. That way, if you pull the unit, you don't have to waste any time. You can simply just jump in and get the unit ready to go and start playing the different modes. Now, with this auto update, that recommendation isn't exactly the most enticing, because now, if you pull the unit, then you can really jump in and do this. Whereas otherwise, you're not really spending as much energy or real time, wasted effort, if you will, actually doing this yourself. So I would recommend you save the metal grind for Janemba until after version Z. And also, I would recommend you guys save the time and headache of farming out this little brat right here on the Prime Battle event until the version Z update drops. Now, let me see. Let me check my notes. Is there one more thing that I have here? There's one more thing. This isn't really something that you can do necessarily, but I do want to mention this because I think it's worth mentioning. On the JP side, after the version Z update dropped, there was a significant increase. I wouldn't say significant, that might be too strong a word. There was a notable increase in load times in the game. Now, this could be due to a number of things. Your device that you're using, maybe the network that you're on, whatnot. But in general terms, the overall load times have seen an increase because of the version Z update. So I want you global players to keep in mind that this could potentially happen to you on your device to an extent, maybe not really badly, maybe a little bit, but there could be a slightly noticeable change in the load times between even the most mundane things. Like if you're trying to go to this and load up your team, see that little load screen that popped up? That could potentially become longer. I've seen on a couple of videos going from, this right here, going from the main screen to this can take a little time. So it all depends on your device and I guess how badly the version Z update actually affects global side. Maybe they fixed it for the global patch, we'll see. But I just wanted to mention that so that you guys can kind of prepare, because that can be kind of annoying if that becomes a serious problem. But other than that, that is pretty much all that I could think of in terms of preparing for the version Z update. If you guys can think of anything else, feel free to share that, because I would love to do anything I possibly can before this starts to be ready, because once version Z hits, man, woohoo, it's going to be so much fun. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments if there are any other ideas that you may have to prepare for version Z's maintenance, or are you just going to follow the stuff that I mentioned and take note of all the events and units that you're going to need to prepare for? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future, and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it! Thanks again, stay tuned, and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.